What's going on, guys? Mike Rama here, and in this video, I'm going to be covering Facebook ads for course creators, coaches, and consultants, or really anyone with a high-ticket, service-based business. Now, before we jump in, I recently just filmed a training that goes in depth on how I scale up these coaching programs, these online courses. I hold nothing back, just drop a ton of value. So if you haven't seen that yet, check it out. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. So let's jump on in. Facebook ads for online courses, coaches, and consultants. So an overview of everything that I'm going to be covering today. First, we're going to go over what you need in place before you actually start running ads. Then we'll get into setting up all of the different accounts that you need, getting things ready to actually run these ads. And then we'll go into the two big types of ads on Facebook, so retargeting and the cold traffic ads. So before you start running any ads or spending any money with Facebook at all, you need to make sure that you have the following in place. First, you want to make sure that you have a converting offer. Now, this is something that you should be testing through organic methods. Okay, I'll make another video on different organic methods that you can leverage. But before you hop in and you just start spending a ton of money on Facebook, you want to figure out whether or not your offer is actually going to convert. Now, if you're someone who has a lot more money than you do time, then maybe it makes sense to start testing things out with Facebook first. But if you have more time than money, then you should start with organic methods first. The second thing that you need to make sure you have in place is a landing page with an email capture. We don't want to be running these ads directly to a sales page or a booking page or asking someone to book a call. We want to run ads to a landing page and collect their email. And the last thing that you need to make sure you have in place is some type of low ticket or free front end offer. This is what we call a lead magnet. Now, once again, we don't want to run traffic right to a page that is asking someone to purchase some high ticket item. If we're selling a $2,000 course, you don't want to send someone to a page that is asking them to check out for $2,000. We need to be providing value up front, and we can do this in the form of a lead magnet. Now let's get into the setup process. So here are a few things that you need to set up before you can actually start running Facebook ads. And the first one is you need to create your business manager and your ad accounts. This is a fairly simple process, so I'm not going to go into too much detail right now, but you're going to need both of these in place before you can run any ads on the platform. The next thing that we're going to need is a Facebook business page. Now, the Facebook business manager and the ad account, these are two things that no one will see, right? This is something that only you see. So you can name these whatever you want. You can add whatever pictures you want there. The Facebook business page, however, is something that all of your customers will see. When you're running ads, you are going to be running them through the business page. So make sure that the name of your business page matches up closely with your website, matches up with your brand, and it looks professional. You want a nice, clean logo on there, a nice picture, and you want to decorate your page and make it look lived in. You don't want to just start a brand new business page and then start running ads. You want to make sure you have content posted on there and the page looks legitimate. The next step is to install a pixel on your website. Now, this is going to allow you to track all of the customers that come to your site through Facebook. So we'll be able to determine whether or not our ads are profitable. And this is a step that trips up a lot of people. So I'm actually going to hop into the Facebook Ads Manager right now and show you exactly where you can find your pixel code and how to set it up on your site. So let's jump on into that. Okay, so I am in my Facebook Business Manager, and you want to get here by hitting these 9 little dots up here. Then you go to Business Settings. And then you want to scroll down to data sources and pixels. And then you should have all of your pixels appear here. If you don't have any, just hit the add button and you're going to create one. And then what you want to do from there is open in Events Manager. Now a new tab should pop up. And this is where we go to actually set up our pixel. So yours will likely say something like this: continue pixel setup. And I like to do this right option, the Facebook pixel. And then I typically add it manually. So you hit install code manually, and this will appear. You'll have this piece of code that you can copy. And now you need to paste this in the head of your website. So if you're on ClickFunnels, there should be an easy template, a nice little section where you can just paste it. Same thing with WordPress. You can look up some tutorials on how to add a pixel to WordPress or ClickFunnels, wherever it might be. But this is where you find the code for your pixel, and you're going to want to make sure that you are placing it on your website. I also recommend downloading the Facebook Pixel Helper. This is a Google Chrome plugin. It's very easy to work with, and it will show you whether or not the pixel was placed correctly on your website. Now, the next thing that you need to do is create custom audiences and custom conversions. And you're going to want to create a custom conversion for every step in your funnel. So if your funnel is an opt-in page and then a webinar and then a checkout page, you're going to want to have all of those in your custom conversions. Same thing with your custom audiences. We're going to want an audience of everyone who has been to our website, and then also an audience of everyone who has taken our lead magnet, everyone who has booked a call with us. So we're going to want to segment these things out, and this will help us with the retargeting process later on. Once again, this is another one that a lot of people get tripped up on. So I'm going to be diving into the Facebook Business Manager and showing you how to set these up. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to cover right now is how to create a custom conversion. You're going to go under the business tools, hit Events Manager, and then this custom conversions, the little circle with the star on the left. And then in here, you're going to want to select Create Custom Conversion. Now you're going to go in and name your conversion. Let's say we want to create our conversion for anyone who has purchased something from us. So I'm going to call this Purchase. And then I'm going to select the pixel that I want. And then we're going to select all URL traffic. And now we need to create a rule. So whatever the name of my purchase page is, I want to add that URL ending here. So let's say my purchase page is mikegrama.com/purchase confirmed. Then in here, I want to add /purchase confirmed, right? And you're going to do this with every step in your funnel. So if you have a webinar and your webinar page is yourdomain.com/webinar, then you are going to want to create a custom conversion for webinar. Just change this name up here. And same thing with the rule down here. Your rule should then be /webinar. So you're going to go through and you're going to create those for every single step in your funnel. Next, we're going to create the custom audiences. So go to your business tools and then select audience, and then select create audience, custom audience. And we're going to use website. Then you want to select your pixel and choose events, people who visited specific web pages. And then you can play around with the retention. So depending on what event you're doing, I like to change this number. So let's just say we want to do 90 days. Anyone who came to our webinar in the last 90 days. So I would change that retention to 90, and then URL contains /webinar. Now I would then go ahead and create a custom audience for every step in my funnel. So we want to have an audience for everyone who has visited my webpage, and then also everyone who has provided me with their email, everyone who has scheduled a call with me, everyone who has purchased from me. So we can split out those audiences. So go ahead and create those for every step in your funnel. All right, and now the last thing that we want to do before we actually go ahead and we start running these ads is we need to verify our domain and verify our identity with Facebook. And this will help us tremendously when it comes to Facebook ad account restrictions. This is something that's been a pretty big problem as of late in the industry, and that is people getting their Facebook ad account and their Facebook Business Manager shut down. So if you verify your domain and you verify your identity with Facebook, this should help you from getting shut down. So if you have a legal business entity, if you have an LLC, you're going to want to provide those documents to Facebook, and this just legitimizes you as an advertiser on their platform. So once you have all of those preliminary steps taken care of, it's time to actually start running your ads. So what are the first types of ads that you should be running? Those are retargeting ads. Now, retargeting will be your most profitable type of ads. They should be your most profitable at least. So that's where we want to start. And if your retargeting ads aren't converting, then you need to be testing new copy. Try new images, new text, maybe a new video. And if you test a few different things and you're still not profitable with the retargeting ads, then you need to go back to your offer. You need to go back to your lead magnet. And there's something wrong with that process. Something in your sales funnel is broken. Now, I like to start with retargeting ads because it allows us to identify these problems. If we start off with cold traffic, it's a little bit more difficult to tell whether the ads are doing poorly or whether it's the funnel, whether it's the offer, the lead magnet. But if we start off with retargeting, which is something that should be pretty profitable right away, and we're not seeing that at all, then we know that something's broken with our offer, something's broken with our lead magnet. We need to change these. So getting a little bit deeper into retargeting ads, what I like to do is use multiple ad sets with different messages. So I don't retarget with just one ad and let someone see that same ad over and over again. I like to hit someone with a ton of different messages because people buy for different reasons. Some people are going to buy off of emotion. Some people will buy off of trust. Some people will buy off of logic and rationality. Some people will buy off of the fear of missing out. So we need to be hitting on these different messages, on all of these different psychological biases in our retargeting ads. So I like to do that by having multiple ad sets with different messages in each one. And then I'll run all of them at a low budget. So people will only be getting hit with each one of my messages every once in a while. And in general, as a rule of thumb, we can spend around $5 per day per 1,000 people in our retargeting audience. Now, you're going to want to monitor your frequency with that because CPMs do fluctuate quite a bit on Facebook. So just keep an eye on your frequencies to make sure that you're not hitting people too much and you're hitting them enough at the same time. So here are some of the different types of messaging to include. I really, really recommend using testimonials and case studies in your retargeting ads. This one is huge. It'll build trust and it allows your customers to show that your products are working for other people who are just like them. Also, you want to relate to your customers' pains and their problems. They are buying something from you because they think that you can solve their problems, that you can heal their pains. And if you can clearly articulate what those pains are and what those problems are, that's the first step to showing someone that you have the solution. Now, next is you want to show this transformation, and you need to get a little bit creative with how you do this, but you need to show someone that your product can take them from point A, where they are, to point B, where they want to go. Take them from this stage of having a problem or having this pain to then getting them, transforming them to this new state. And finally, I like to include my story, your why. Why does your brand do what it does? How did your brand come about? And really just connect with the prospect. Now, you don't want this to turn into you just talking about yourself, right? What you really want to do is tell your story, but you want your prospect to be able to see themselves in your story. That's absolutely key. And so once again, these retargeting ads, these should be your most profitable type of ads. So you're going to want to test these with all website visitors at first. And then, like I mentioned earlier, split out your retargeting audiences. So you're going to retarget everyone that's been to your website, then split those out from people that have opted in and people that have added to cart, people that have been to your book a call page, and see which ones are the most profitable for you. And this will allow you to divvy up your spend. Okay, so once you have the retargeting ads profitable, you know your offer's converting, you have a sales funnel that's working really well, what's the next step? So we are then going to move to cold traffic ads, and this is where we're going to start scaling up. So you want to start by testing out lookalike audiences, and now only if you have enough data, and then also testing highly related interest-based audiences. So let me explain what a lookalike audience is. Basically, we go to Facebook and we ask Facebook, hey, can you find me an audience of people who look similar to the people that have visited my website? Or can you find me an audience that looks similar to the list of people who have purchased from me? And then Facebook goes out there and they find this audience. They find the top 1% of people who are most similar to everyone who has been to your website. And so these audiences tend to perform really well. I highly recommend them as a first place of testing when you're just dipping your toes into the cold traffic ads. And then next is leveraging interest-based audiences of highly related topics. All right, let's talk about writing your copy now. So you always want to start off with a strong hook. That first line is so important. It's the first thing that anyone's going to see, and you need to hook them in with that line. This is also the line that you should be testing the most because it's going to have the largest impact on the performance of your ad. Then once you start off with a hook and you get someone engaged, you get their attention, then you're going to want to bring up those problems and those pain points that they are having. Get them to feel that a little bit, right? You want to agitate those pain points. And then you want to transition and show them what it's like to have those pain points solved. Show them where they are right now, and then show them what it's like to have those pain points solved. Then you want to present your lead magnet as the obvious and the only solution to these pain points. Remember, you're not trying to sell your course right now. You're not trying to sell your coaching offer, your consulting offer. You are just providing the lead magnet, whatever free or low ticket front end item that you have. And you want to position that as the thing that can help them with their pain points. So your offer should be the bridge from where they are to where they want to go. So now getting into an ad copy example. This is one that I wrote almost a year ago at this point. I think this sold around $15,000 of this online course. And what you'll see is it's only just pushing people to a free training. So let me read through it right now. So it starts off, this business model won't produce the next Jeff Bezos. So that's the hook right there. And what you'll notice is it's a little bit different than a lot of ads that are out there. A lot of ads are just over promising and promising so much. And this is taking that opposite stance. It's like, this business model isn't going to make you a billionaire. So that gets people's attention right away because it's different. And you'll notice the image too. This is what we call a pattern interrupt image. This is something that it catches your eye, it gets you to stop. But it's perfect for new entrepreneurs looking for their first base hit online. This training was designed specifically for anyone who has struggled with dropshipping, Shopify stores, social media marketing agencies, Amazon FBA, or any of the other overly complicated business models out there. So again, we're talking about those pain points right now, right? Someone who has struggled with these different business models, anything that they have done out there that's overly complicated, we're just touching on these pain points. Now, this copy is a lot shorter than most of mine. I normally elaborate a little bit more on these pain points, but this gives you that overall template of how you should be writing your copy. So then next, I drop the link for the free training. And then I transition to, for those who aren't looking to be the next Bezos, but just want a reliable, simple system. So I'm telling them exactly what they're getting here. I'm talking about the offer, and I'm telling them, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Take this. It's a simple system. This training is for you. And then I drop the link again, and I sign off. Some other types of ads that you can run to cold traffic include video ads. Now, these tend to work really well. So if you have a video asset, I would definitely recommend testing running that to cold traffic. And then what this allows us to do is retarget based off of video viewership. So we can run ads to anyone who have watched 50% or more of this video ad. So this is typically a really good way to start warming up our audience for a pretty low cost in Facebook's mind. And then what we can do is retarget based off of the video viewership. So we can then go ahead and retarget anyone who watched 25% or more or 50% or more of this video. Now, this is usually a very low cost method to warming up an audience. So what should you expect from your Facebook ads? So typically you should aim for sub $5 leads on Facebook, especially if you are just going for those email opt-ins. We want to aim for around $5 on that front end. And this is going to vary based on your niche. So if you are in the financial services industry, it's probably going to be a lot higher. If you're in a niche that doesn't tend to have too many competitors, you might be able to get lower than $5 leads, but this is typically the number that I look for. $10 is likely too high. Once again, it's going to depend on your niche, but ultimately what we really want to be looking at is the cost per purchase. So it doesn't really matter what cost per lead we're getting as long as they are converting to purchases. But I know initially you don't get too much data on the purchases, especially with these high ticket products. So we're just looking at that cost per lead as a benchmark early on. Now, I will note Facebook is getting tougher and it's getting more strict with their policies. So you want to make sure you are being 100% compliant in your ads to reduce the risk of you getting your business manager or your ad account shut down. It's still the best platform out there for retargeting, in my opinion. Also, check out my free training on how to scale your high ticket business in the description below. I share a different traffic source that I am going all in on this year. I've seen it have great results over the past few months for my clients and for these different online courses. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I'll leave a link in the description below. Hope you guys got a ton of value out of this video. If you did, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.